Welcome in 5 minutes with Sean, maybe 10. The middle of July brings us to a fun and exciting conversation I like to call, what are you doing with your marketing? Okay. So I'm in a fortunate position that I see a lot of different dealers, a lot of different ad spends, a lot of different approaches, a lot of different aggressiveness in market, et cetera, et cetera. But I have to tell you right now, there are a lot of question marks around a good bit of the ad parts. So within Google, we have questions about PMAX that are tough to validate. We have questions about, well, both, I guess, both social and Google have a big question about bots. There is a lot of conversation going around that 50% of traffic is bot based, which brings me to the next discussion. How often do you look at your data? When do you dig in and see it? You see, it's my job to dig in every single month for our clients, and I dig into the exact same metrics every single month. They haven't changed. GA4 went from UA to GA4. I didn't change what I looked at. I added some different pieces because GA4 expanded, but I didn't change it. Too many people try to change too much. They try to go digging for the next big metric, the next big piece of analytics. That's not how it works. As a matter of fact, the more basic your analytics are, in my opinion, the better and more clear you can see. But you see, it's not just a marketing analytic, right? It's not just trusting GA4. It's taking GA4 data, parsing that against CRM, looking at third-party background dashboards, right? Taking into consideration your marketing department's dashboards, which God, they have, and most of them suck, but they have them. And so looking at all that, and not to mention, let's throw in AI search, what we're doing to validate that. But ultimately, within the marketing pool, there's a lot of question marks, and we still have a lot of people spending a lot of money. Now, most of it is out of I would say competitive and or muscle memory way, meaning somebody else is in their market, they saw them show up in a search, they want to make sure it doesn't happen again, and or they have been doing what they have been doing and spending it for a long time. Granted, like I say, I've got clients all over the spectrum. I've got clients who spend absolutely zero on paid search for some of their brands. Zero. A little bit of paid social, mainly nothing. Okay, cool. They run an organic. Those are decisions they made a long time ago. Tough for anyone today to make that decision because then they feel like they'll get caught behind. But is it true? Well, I can tell you, again, we have clients that we've worked with that we basically baby step into spends, and then we just sort of grow as needed. Monica, one of our great marketing directors, she always says you can feed the beast. If it works, spend more. Not enough people take that reaction, and too many people are trusting what they're reading. Recently, we had to deal with a 20 group audit, which are always fun by those companies. And this 20 group audit turned into a phone call to go over digital. Now, I wasn't there, but I got the feedback and I saw the deck afterwards. And what happens with a lot of people's research is that they're doing it on the surface. So if you're a surface data person, then you should stay on the surface and not try to act like what you're doing is driving too much, because at the end of the day, it's surface. And the for instance I will give you is that they, as I spoke to you about PMAX, PMAX is part of the cross-network channel. Don't want to geek out in here too much, but cross-network within the Google channel distribution setup. That channel that has PMAX and VLA has a lot of issue with display-generated phone calls, which are bullshit, which are spammy, which are bot, whatever word you want to use, I don't care. But what I can tell you is that they don't produce 50-plus phone calls. They don't convert over 10%. If display ads did that, no one would spend $1 on paid search. They spend all their money on display, right? Now, how do I know that? Well, as I told you before, it isn't just about stacking one piece of data, two pieces of data, three pieces of data. Here's a fourth piece of data: call fucking tracking. Those of you not using it, you're literally wasting money. So what you should do is walk outside and just throw $2,000 in the air and then see how many you can grab back, because that's essentially what you've done here. Without the validation of call tracking, we would have never, I don't want to say never, we would have likely taken us much longer to find this problem out. I've been eyeing this problem forever because I've been looking at the same data set for 10 fucking years. So when the data set changes from so many phone calls to so many phone calls, what happens with surface level marketers or surface level data people is they like to dive in and go, oh my God, look at Performance Max. It is the #1 channel for phone calls. It is the #1 channel for conversion. You should put all your money in PMax. No, you shouldn't. As a matter of fact, you should take all your fucking money out of PMax and put it back in traditional paid search run by human beings whenever chance you can. Because the AI version of these products sucks. Plain and simple. Sorry, not sorry, Google. You suck when it comes to advertising quality over bullshit. That's the problem here. So when you say you generated 100 phone calls from Performance Max and my call tracking shows 12, who's right? Well, let's assume that call tracking is off by half, so there was 24. That makes it off by almost 75% of the call tracking number of 100. This is where your problems lie. This is where your money is wasted, but you don't know it because you're not looking. You're not paying attention. You're trusting in your 20 group. By the way, stop doing that. We all know when owners and general managers go to 20 groups, okay? Everyone knows. You come back full of ideas and concepts that are marginal at best. At best. They're normally ideas that are just to be buzzwordy, and now the amount of AI that comes out of these and the amount of direction people are going with AI over human is getting to be nauseating. Simply fucking nauseating. And we will go backwards. We will. We'll scale back from all of this within the next 24 months. You will have scaled back what you are doing on AI today versus 2 years from now. I don't care what anyone says. I'll see if I'm wrong. We'll see if the show holds up. We'll make sure we double check show number, 430, whatever it is at this point. And we'll see, because I think that if you want to be good at marketing, you need to be paying deep, deep attention. And that comes with call tracking. That comes with messaging, making sure the messaging is the same on the website, in the ads, on the social, in the videos, in OTT. I don't care. Wherever you put it, make it make sense. Make it make sense. Call tracking is one of the biggest, which is crazy that I would even say this to you, because I think if we went back to episodes, 1 through 50, I probably said the same fucking thing 7 years ago. I almost am undoubtedly that was the case, because we are just a cycle of issues. The issues don't really change. We just can't get ourselves out of the cycle of them. That's what it comes down to. And so I would challenge you to start chipping away at your Google budgets. $1 at a time. Just next month, especially when you know you're out of we all know our big months versus our small months. Make sure you're doing seasonal spending. That's like rule number 1. But now just start to chunk off, man, and see what really changes by looking at your call tracking, your analytics, your third-party dashboards, and your CRM. Those 4 together, that is the quad of gold as far as I'm concerned. That's where you find every single answer you're looking for, is right there in those 4 things, because everything else is fluff, bullshit, and dashboards. And most of you ain't got time for the dashboards you got, let alone more dashboards in the future. So do yourselves a favor. When you're sitting with your marketing company and someone starts telling you about the Performance Max phone calls, question it and look for validation. And guess what will happen? Crickets. Because unless you have call tracking, validation is what Google tells us. And me, I'm not in the business of trusting what Google has to say to me. I'm not a trusting person in general. So I trust but verify? Sure. But verify above all else, because that's where you'll make the difference. And that's where you have it happen. And not to mention, when you start getting into paid search with OEM-based products, non-OEM, tier 2, tier 3 marketing companies competing to the same website, ouch. Realistically, a good waste of time and money for everybody. So the wrap up for today: trust nothing Google says to you. Validate with CRM, validate with call tracking, validate with analytics. And it's not lost on me that GA4 is a sponsored Google product. I get it. There are other ones. Know what you're looking for. Know what looks good and know what doesn't. What I mean by that is, if traditionally your site sees 10,000 users and it spikes to 20, before you pat yourself on your back and break your arm, have a look and make sure that 20,000 is anything of quality. Right now, we're seeing humongous pushes from direct traffic, and direct traffic can be a myriad of things. Most of it not good. Most of it definitely not something to build on. So that's it, folks. Go take a look at your budgets. Go take a look at what you're spending. And if you have questions, call me. I'll give you free advice the first time. I'm always good for that. All right. Thanks a lot. Have yourselves a great week, and we'll see you next week.